Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Backfire Simsport TV. I'm Clyde Whiting, and tonight we bring you our usual Friday night feast, which is the European Strength of Field race in the iRacing Supercars Series. Tonight we are at the tricky Okayama circuit, and in the booth with me I have Mr. Pete Bingham. Good evening.
Good evening, Clyde. Good evening, everybody.
And working all the magic in the background that you're going to see on your screens is Mr. Sam Boozin. Good evening, Sam.
Good evening, Clyde, Pete, and everybody watching.
Right, Pete. So we don't get a lot of time before this race kicks off. I'm just looking down our list of drivers, and we've got a lot of new names in this week. 25 drivers on a tricky track like Okayama. This should be good stuff.
It should be, because this track you do many times just to get out a rookie. So everybody will be very familiar with this track. You end up doing it many, as we discussed before the broadcast started. MX5s are here every week. That's what it feels like. Everybody will be really familiar with it. I've been on the track tonight. There's actually quite a lot more grip than I expected for a Japanese track. As long as you're very careful on the gas, it won't bite you back. But we'll talk more about that later. I think there's got to be some new names in here somewhere, right? Because I had to scroll down my screen. So we've got 25 drivers, Clyde.
Yeah, I've got Matthias Dahl. I don't think I've seen before.
No, Nico Weber.
Yeah, Johan Forey. Why do I know that name? I don't know.
Why has he got no flag on our screen?
Probably because he's South African. Kyle Hindle.
Where are you reading that one?
Jonathan Shapley. Alex Radar.
Have we had...
There's got to be a joke in there somewhere.
Yeah,
Ivan Bauman's has just joined us on V8 ESC, so
okay.
I don't think he's done one of these before. And Jacob Falcon, sorry. So,
did you say Jonathan Shapley? You did, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, welcome to all our new drivers. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Pete. I'm going to ask Sam to get our unofficial standings up. It's pointless me asking Pete because he's a bit of a technophobe. So these standings,
I resemble that comment.
These standings are just a bit of fun. Nothing really in it. But just so we can run down your top five. The guys get 13 weeks to race, and there are 2 drop weeks. So at the moment, we've got Tony Kloosterman leading the way, Wayne Sanderson in second, Anthony Woodward in third, Kevin Honorato in fourth, and Marco Luert in fifth. So we'll see how that all stacks up at the end of the season, Pete.
Yeah, there's a long way to go. There's also drop weeks that won't have kicked in yet, will they? Because they don't come out until they've done however many it is. 11, is it?
No, they actually come in now. After
right,
7,
okay.
So,
right, so you've already deducted their worst ones out.
Yeah,
right?
So the scores will update every week, and obviously the lowest 2 scores for each driver will get dropped. So plenty still to change.
Yeah, I think we're about halfway through or just over this qualifying session. And clearly we've got some very capable new drivers knocking about. That Johan Forey has put in a really good time. That's eye-watering, isn't it? 130.5, I think that is, yeah.
Yeah, Yangtze Lin is up there again. Now,
he was very entertaining.
He had us all excited last week, didn't he?
He did. Never a dull moment there.
Yeah, certainly.
Matthias Dahl, he's obviously got something under the bonnet there because he's done a 130.7. It's very tight around that 130 zone, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a particularly long track, is it? 2.3 miles and 11 turns. So
yeah, and as long as you don't actually press the gas pedal, you're all right.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, just stay off of it all the time. That's the way to do it.
It is, yeah. And you learn that pretty quick, don't you? Even in an MX5.
You do, yes.
Yeah, just don't touch the gas pedal. Dead easy.
So, as Pete said, we are 3/4 of the way through qualifying. Just to keep you up to date with track conditions. So, the sky is partly cloudy, 73 degrees Fahrenheit, and the track is 76 degrees Fahrenheit. So, quite a comfortable track temperature, Pete, and maybe that's where all the grip has come from.
I think so, yeah. I mean, the Japanese tracks are notorious for being ice tracks, as in you've got no grip. This one tonight, I think, has got more grip than I've ever known at Okayama. And certainly more than we had at Suzuka earlier in the season, if you remember that. Or was that in the V8 ESC? I think that was in ESC, wasn't it, or something?
No, I can't remember. I've been asleep since then.
Yeah, that's true. I think Kyle Hindle might be an electrician looking at the livery on his car. That's quite wild, isn't it? It's good though. I like that.
It certainly sticks out.
It does, and I'm all for those types of liveries. So yeah, Okayama can be notorious for crashes, but I don't think it will be tonight. We've got a field full of very, very capable drivers. We've seen them a number of times before now, and they know one another now, apart from the very new guys, to us anyway. But even the new guys seem to be very, very capable looking at their times.
Yeah, just looking at Shane Powell up there in 8th.
Yeah, that's a good time.
We usually seeing Shane, no disrespect, but towards the back of the grid. So yeah, he's obviously done some practice and got in there. Evening to Chris Jackson and Lame O'Connor on the chat. Nice to have you on board, gents. Chris is at work, so he's getting paid to watch us, which is more than we're getting. So
I don't get to do that. Are we having to go through the starting grid now? We don't have long, do we?
Yep. So Tony Kloosterman goes off pole. Wayne Sanderson second. Johan Forey in third. Yangtze Lin in fourth. Marcus Bletch fifth. Matthias Dahl sixth. Michael Marchietta seventh. Shane Powell eighth. Ant Woodward ninth. Kevin Honorato 10th. Whew.
Yeah.
And the cars are lining up. I don't think we're going to have time to go through the recipe.
No.
Gridding already.
I'm sure they'll feature at some point.
This will give you a really good view of the start, and you'll see the cars split in all directions. Hopefully with no contact. But
yeah, starts have been a bit sketchy at times, haven't they?
Yeah,
we had one complete wipeout in that race where Gary Craig got speared from.
Yeah, every direction.
Stage left and right. Yeah, that was very unlucky. Hopefully none of that tonight. There's a few cars still to join, looking at that. I saw a Simability car drop in just then.
I think that's it. Lights are coming on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and we're green.
Right, yeah, you're right. Cars splitting off.
Yeah, 12 wide, no hole.
12 wide. Top two have got through, but the activity is back here.
Is that
I don't know who that was that was very
Holy
wide.
shamoly.
I saw an episode of the Wacky Races that looked like that.
I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it may have been Ant Woodward.
Right.
I could be totally wrong.
Oh, Stephen Walker diving through the... Oh, who's that going through the kitty litter?
That's Matthias Dahl.
So that lacked decorum, didn't it?
Yeah. But let's get the race underway, and then we'll have a look back and see what happened.
Looks like teammate of ours, Gary Craig, managed to thread the needle there and get through with no damage, which is brilliant.
He's gone up 6 places, as has Stephen Walker, Nikolai Bogotyrev, all up 6 places.
Yeah, I mean that's. I think Lynn was in the middle of all of that.
Yeah, because he's dropped down to 18th, hasn't he?
Yeah, and there's a lot of damage there. Oh, is that Marco? Who's that just in front of Dean? Or is that Dean? No, in front of Dean.
That is Marco Lewert,
yeah. Lots of damage on the right-hand side of his car. Oh, here we go. Stephen Walker, slow down.
Shane Powell up in 4th.
Oh, Gary Craig, door banging there in the distance, losing positions. I think there was something going on with Stephen Walker there as well, because Stephen Walker was on the non-racing line going extraordinarily slowly, and he's getting nerfed to one side by Matthias Dahl at the minute.
Yeah, they're door banging all the way.
Yeah.
This is touring, guys.
It feels like it, doesn't it? Loads of side-by-side racing and opportunistic moves. Ant Woodward having a really good look there. I don't think we're going to get a chance to go back to that start incident unless we somehow press pause on the entire race. That's very tasty there as well.
Yeah, it takes a few laps to sort itself out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
In the meantime, Tony Kloosterman has jumped away to over a second and a half.
Stephen Walker wide there, sorry. He's losing 3 positions, nearly 4 positions, because he drove it in too hard into the hairpin. Oh, and who's that?
Jacob Falcon.
Yeah, he's got damage to both sides of his car. Oh, I thought he was going to collide there.
Yeah, so did I. Yeah.
Or was he under his own brakes?
No, I think he was bumped from behind.
Yeah.
By, I'm trying to find out who that was.
It was a bit of a bump and run, wasn't it? Ant Woodward. Oh, behind Ant Woodward, we have. Is that Mr. Dahl again? It is, yeah. Kevin Honorato and Matthias Dahl going at it. And then you got a big gap. Oh, well, I say big. A reasonable gap back to Gary Craig. I don't think Gary's the cork in the bottle there. I think he's got the pace over the guys behind him. Ooh, that's tasty. Tell you what, Matthias isn't waiting, is he?
No, but he was quick in practice and quali, wasn't he? But he's
a little bit wild down here.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happened to his start that dropped him right back. Obviously, there was contact involved, but whether he was an innocent bystander or not, I don't know.
No, Kevin's gone wide there, and Kevin's got damage to the front of his car, look.
Yeah.
That lovely paintwork's definitely creased going through there. Stephen Walker's lost a few places along the way here.
Yeah, he was driving it hard from the start, wasn't he? So,
yeah,
just needs to calm down, get the car back under him, and then go again, start picking people off.
Yeah. Who's that in front of him? Marco.
Yeah, you've got Marco and then James Murphy.
James Murphy's doing all right, isn't he? He started quite low down on the grid, I thought.
Yeah, and Shane Powell is up in 5th. Sorry to keep mentioning him, but he's doing really, really well.
He is. That's a result, that. One that's slipped under our radar. Oh.
That was James Murphy going wide there.
It was.
He's
Ben Cullen around the outside, is that?
Yeah, Ben's got damage.
Yeah, who's that behind James? Is that Len? Very second-hand looking car.
Even going past Marco.
Yeah.
Nice and clean.
It was good, but can he hold it? He's been a bit erratic, hasn't he? He's been so erratic that Gary Craig's got a good gap in front of them. Oh, Nikolai! Oh, how did they miss him? Gary. Oh.
Gary didn't miss him.
No, it was a small nudge, but he's now in trouble. And Nikolai's
just trying to properly write his car off.
I think he's just trying to get out of the way.
I think Nikolai went round on his own. I'm not 100% sure, but
yeah,
Gary's lost the front of his car.
It didn't look like a big nudge, but it looks like someone's detonated a grenade in the engine cavity.
So he's got lots of extra cooling.
Yeah.
So this is Nikolai. Yeah, I'm sure he did it all on his own. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He got Ant Woodwarded.
Yeah.
And then Gary Craig.
Yeah. I think more likely Gary Craig got Nikolai'd. Pretty sure Nikolai's car wasn't supposed to be parked on the apex of that turn. Are we ever going to get back to that start? Have we got enough commentators to talk about that start? There was so much going on.
Yeah, I didn't see what caused it. There was obviously cars wide, and then there was cars facing the wrong direction.
Yeah, and I think that Gary's problem on that incident with Nikolai is that I think he's racing on single screen. So he'll have turned his car through that turn and not known that Nikolai's car was even there.
Right.
And he's obviously lost some pace because Ben Cullen's onto him now.
And good evening to Marco Namela on the chat, and also the best looking Australian in the world, Mr. Jamie McKnight, our very own train announcer.
Is he paying you money for these compliments?
Yeah.
Or not? Oh, he is, right. That's
yeah.
fine then, yeah. You and your Jamie McKnight bromance.
Yep. I am the fan club. Founding and only member.
Do you have the pictures enabled for the drivers, Clyde?
What does that mean?
If you click on the driver details, show the driver details and show the photos. I think Ben's did something for you.
Yeah, he's trying. Yeah, bless him, very trying. Although that is far better picture than his face, so... Ooh, Gary's wide there. I think Ben's going to have him this time.
And that's Kevin.
Kevin going past Shane Powell. So Shane's dropping down a little bit, but he's still up there in the top 10.
There. Yeah. Ben's got past Gary. So
yeah, I think that was Miro Hrasky making a move there on James Murphy.
Right. Have you got inside information today?
Oh, of course.
Right.
Of course. Let's just see what happened to Nikolai. Oh, he's blown his engine.
Oh.
The engine went a pop.
Right. So he's going to be there a long time unless he decides to quit.
So let's have a look. I've got 2 lots of inside information. So pit window opens end of lap 8.
Oh dear, sorry, just interruption there. James Murphy and is that Yangtze Lin with no front on the car? I think it is. Yeah. It's more of a go-kart, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on with your words of wisdom from the dove from above.
So yeah, pit window opens on lap 8, and I'm being told they can go as far as lap 18. So there's a nice big pit window. Mm-hmm. My other informer also tells me they're going to take about 25 litres of fuel. They'll be stationary for 12 seconds if they take tyres, 10 if they don't. And I can't see anybody not taking tyres.
Yeah, I would be taking tyres in this car regardless. If I could get the super grippy ones, that would help as well. Gary's dropping down the order at the minute, probably because of the damage to the car. So you would think that lap 8 is going to be the lap where people decide to go.
Well, if
damage.
Yeah, and if anybody's going to try, who is Matthias Dahl having a go at? Marcus Blitz, maybe?
Yeah, Marcus Blitz. That's a very close battle at the minute. And I think Marcus was a bit vocal on the chat in Sim a minute ago. So I don't know whether that was something to do with this exchange. Nobody else is around them, so I'm assuming it must be.
Just keep it clean, boys.
Yeah,
I think he's gone for the move down the inside.
he has, and he's got that done. And Woodward, ooh, and Shane. Shane a bit squirrely. There's this gang. So Miro underneath Ben Cullen. Oh, that's...
Oh, Gary!
Gary's been nudged by, I think that was...
James Murphy.
Yeah, it'd be James Murphy.
Yeah, just too late on the brakes, wasn't he?
He was, yeah.
Gary seems to be attracting trouble tonight.
Yeah, and he's not doing that much wrong, is he? He was racing on the racing line before, and there was a Nikolai parked in front of him. And then got tagged again and again, so... unnecessary.
Let's have a look. No one's been in yet.
No. There's a
We're
couple
on
of
lap
cars
9.
laps down. Nico Weber didn't appear to actually grid or start. This is Yuan-C Lin catching Ben Cullen, and he's handy, isn't he, Lin? It's just that we've never seen him drive a car without damage on it.
No, he reminds me of Victor Tanaka.
All right, yeah.
Very similar style of driving, isn't it?
Yeah, ridiculously fast.
Yeah, and full on.
Mm-hmm.
Demis there going wide, but kept it on the track.
Here's Shane again.
Yeah, still sitting there in the top 10.
He is, but he's got Marco in. He's closing in now. Marco Loert, who had a much better line through the last corner there.
Yeah, I think this one's a done deal.
He was carrying so much extra speed compared to Shane that he's almost passed him before the corner.
That's
Although
Stephen
he made a mess of that.
In the background there, making places back up. Somebody else with that front on the car. Oh, that's
Yuan-C Lin again, yeah. Looking for a way past Ben Cullen. He needs to go to a scrapyard, Lin, doesn't he? Because
a scrapyard and park it.
See if he can get 50 quid for that V8. Although, look at that. Super grippy round there.
He's still quick, isn't he?
Yeah, Ben's going to have a little bit of overspeed here, but because of where Lynn's parked, he's put his car on the road. Actually, that damage is stopping Lynn getting to top speed, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah.
He's still got it round the corners, but...
yeah. He's nailed it round the corners, hasn't he? He's probably glued down that car. Is that a grip hack?
It must be, yeah. Take the front of your car off.
Yeah. Get all the grip you need, just no top speed. Looks like Gary Craig's stopped being dropped by people now. I think he's got a handle on what damage is on his car. Now that people have stopped pummeling him. There goes James Murphy round.
Oh, that's a horrible place.
That's a horrid place to do that, isn't it? Because you're going to do a 200-point turn now to get back on. Oh, Ben. Oh, Ben. Oh, dear.
I think that was all on his own.
I think it was as well. But I'd like to see it again, just in case.
I think he just over-rotated out of the corner.
I've seen him catch worse than that, though. Yeah, you're right, though. Yeah. Gary Craig and whoever that is behind him, Demis. Give him the widest berth ever. Gary Craig was like, I can't be hit by somebody else. Please, God, no.
Interesting to see if Ben got away with that.
Well, as in damage-wise.
Yeah, well, he'll have some visual damage, but it was a side slap, wasn't it? So,
Well, so he's kind of evened up the other side of his car. Oh dear. Your sponsors are going to want their money back, that's for sure.
I don't know why I bother painting these cars, you know.
Is that one of yours, is it?
Yeah. So Marcus Bletz is in the pits. First one to blink, and
Lap
Stephen
11.
Walker.
Oh, yeah. Oh, here we go. Right. How'd you do this? How'd you commentate on this?
I don't know. I just want to watch it and see what happens.
Yeah.
There's a couple of slow cars.
Ant Woodward goes mental.
Yeah, he disappears off wide. Oh, it happened. Yeah, it happened behind Ant.
So who are we watching now? Marcus Bletz. No, we're not. We've moved to Demis. Right, why have we moved to Demis? Has he got a good view of it? He's vanished and come back.
Through and disappears off wide.
Yeah.
Somewhere there. It might have been Gary Craig.
Well, Yancey Lynn is definitely involved.
I think Gary may have turned Yancey Lynn.
Alright, let's have a look.
Can we see it from Gary Craig?
Yeah, we're doing it now. So Gary dives to the inside. Kevin Honorato got an awful launch. So did somebody else.
Yeah.
Gary Craig's on the inside. Oh, well, Yancey then seems to spin across the front of him.
Yeah, that racing incident for me.
Let's have it one more time. From Gary Craig's perspective again.
I think Gary should have known that gap was going to close, and Yancey Lynn shouldn't have.
Oh, Yancey Lynn got a tap from Marco Lewert. So Marco Lewert and Yancey Lynn started all that.
Yeah, so that gets to the bottom of that one. So Marco Lewert and Shane Powell are in the pits.
Okay, this is getting busy down here now. Pit crews, simulated pit crews, of course, are getting to it. You don't get any free repairs here, do you? This is
no, not in the official. No,
sit and do all of your painful repairs. Who's that? Ivan Bauman's.
Yeah, so I think from our Discord chat, Ivan is just using this as seat time. So that's the way to do it.
Yep. Oh, that's a bit wiggly from Jonathan Shapley.
I like the colour of his car.
Yeah? You got some sort of affliction?
I don't know. It just looks...
Oh, that's wide. James Murphy.
Yeah, I think we've said that more than anything else tonight.
That's wide. James Murphy. Just for the people at home, the word wide has nothing to do with James Murphy's name.
So, Tony Kloosterman, who currently has an 8-second lead.
It's greedy, isn't it, really?
Michael Marchietta's in the pits.
He is. He's one of the highest people to pit so far. Kevin Honorato follows him into the pits. So your top 4 at the minute, because they're the ones that are on track. Tony Kloosterman leads by an enormous amount. Wayne Sanderson is in second. He's got a 6-second lead over Johan Furi. And then Matthias Dahl is the 4th placed person at the moment, with Ant Woodward in 5th. Which Ant Woodward's doing rather well, really, isn't he, given the fact that he had a massive excursion on turn 1.
Sorry, I'm getting some abuse on the chat.
Oh, right. I'm sure you're giving it back as good as you're getting.
I might be. So, Wayne Sanderson doesn't seem to have anything for Tony at the moment. Does he pit now? Try that Namela effect.
Jamie wants me to do a shout out to myself. Don't understand what that's about.
So Johan is up there in 3rd place at the moment, and I don't think that's anything to do with pit stops either.
Oh, right.
Maybe he might be 1 position higher.
Yeah.
So Ant Woodward has got himself up to 5th after an eventful start. So Dean Flavell is in the pits.
Good that you were paying attention to what I said about Ant Woodward about 30 seconds ago.
You never listen to me.
There's a reason I don't listen to you. You should always listen to me.
So get ready for it. Oh, that's wide, James Murphy.
Oh, we're cruel. Oh, that is wide, actually.
Good move.
Yeah, it was a good move. Spot on.
Do you think Shane spent 7 years in rookie and has done 14 million laps of Okayama?
Yeah, probably. I haven't checked out that guy with the 1 iRating for ages.
Oh no, we need to look at that, don't we?
Yeah.
He might have doubled it by now. So, lap 16 of 26. Johan Forey is in the pits. So Tony is starting to go through the back markers now. Evening to Ant Woodward's better half, Stacey, on the chat.
So everyone's got a bit of room around them at the minute, haven't they? So
yeah, well, at the moment it's really the top 4 that haven't pitted. Saying that Tony goes in.
He's not sparing those horses, is he? He's hey, oh right, yeah, pit stop. Thought that was turn 1.
No, that's Wayne following him in.
Yeah.
I think Wayne's gone in 2 or 3 laps too late.
Yeah, he should have tried an undercut here, I think.
Unfortunately, going in the same time as Tony, he's just going to come out the same, unless he doesn't take tyres. But then Tony will drive away from him even more. And Woodward in the pits. So that just leaves really Matthias Dahl, currently in 1st but hasn't pitted, and Demis. I have no idea.
I want you to say that. I want you to say that.
But do you reckon that G is silent?
I think that's Tikela, but if I remember correctly, because I watched some SROC league broadcast a few years before, so that's just out of memory. That is Tikela.
Still want Clyde to say it.
Well, what we'll do is whenever he's on the screen, we'll let Sam say it.
Yeah, just keep him on the screen for a while. He is about to do a move on Marcus Blatz. And Kevin Honorato wants a piece of him as well. Thought he was going to go then, but he thought better of it, didn't Kevin?
He had a look, didn't he? But
he did. That tight line through... Whoa! That tight line through that corner is very fast. That was what Yuanci Lin was doing before.
Ooh.
A good run on him here, and this is a decent place to overtake if you can hold that inside line without getting chopped up. go too wide at that corner, and you do lose the grip.
Yeah,
But-
you need to get side by side there, don't you?
Yeah,
Because then
very
you can
much.
force the other car out wide. A bit
Yeah,
like
that-
here, you can
yeah,
do it
that's-
here as well.
That's not a registered overtaking point, that though, is
No,
it?
but because it's a double, it's like two right-handers. So
Yeah.
if you can get it half done in the first part, you can usually finish it off in the second part.
Yeah.
So that's and Woodward tagged on the back of this group now. And Matthias Dahl has pitted now. So there's only
Yeah.
Demis that hasn't pitted. And we're on lap 18, so I would suspect he will need to pit this lap. Whether Ant knows that or not, he's going to go past him anyway.
Oh, Demis, stay on the track, mate.
So Blitz, Honorato, Dahl, and then Woodward catching them all up.
Yep. He's not catching them massively just yet, is he? He's got some good lines through some of these corners, though, Ant Woodward.
Yeah, I think he was a little bit held up by Demis, who's now pitted.
Right.
Just looking at the lap times, yeah. Ant's got the best lap out of these four drivers.
Mm-hmm. Since his pit stop, you won't see Lynn hasn't advanced too much.
No, but he's got a massive amount of damage, hasn't he, on his car? So
He has, yeah.
we've already seen him losing it down the straights.
If you're wondering what that small bang was, it was me. I just ninja'd a fly on the screen on my monitor.
Ooh. Matthias has thrown one in there, but not got away.
No,
He's been
Kevin's
flashing the
defended that.
lights at Kevin.
Yeah, maybe the bulbs will go dry or something.
Okay, so whoa,
Oh dear! Oh dear!
boys, calm down.
Yeah. Oh, handbags! Here we go. Is that 2 in 1? Kevin's not happy.
We need to see that again from when it started.
Ignore what I said about grip. These guys are all over the place. So here's where it started.
So he threw one up the inside. Kevin defended it.
But Kevin got he didn't need to because he got so much wheel spin, Matthias, that he gave it up. Then he gave him a nudge here.
Right,
Door back
okay.
in.
Yeah, which let Ant Woodward through.
Yep. Kevin gets out of Ant's
And
way.
then Matthias fires it back up the inside.
Yeah. Kevin's clearly not happy.
No.
And it's still going on now, look.
That was a gift for Ant Woodward.
It was, as long as he can do something with it.
Miro's still interested in Dennis, although Dennis should be on new tyres now, so...
Ooh, Kevin's getting very squirrely. He's getting very heavy on the gas, isn't he? He's trying to catch back up and retake those positions.
Yeah, I don't know if he's driving angry or just driving on custard tyres.
Yeah. Custard tyres. I've not heard of that before.
No, I just made that up.
Yeah.
I meant to say jelly, but I couldn't think of the word, so custard came out.
I think Ant's wanting past here. He's getting a bit frustrated, maybe. He's got some very shallow lines underneath Matthias at the minute. Yeah, he wants past here, doesn't he? Oh dear.
Yeah, I don't think there was contact there.
No, but it's the last thing you want, isn't it? For a car to step across the front of yours. It's going to be only the brave do that, Ant.
Kevin just uses his noddle here, lets him fight.
He might get 2 freebies. Whoa, Kevin. Doing a bit of Tokyo. It's Okayama, mate. I think the way that Matthias is driving, he's not going to have much in the way of tyres left at the end of this race.
Yeah, well, he's got that damage on the front right as well.
Yeah, and all down the right-hand side. Oh, and you've gone a bit wide there. That's the James Murphy line, mate.
Why are these guys now sliding about then? What's going on? Track temperature is 81 degrees, so it's still not roasting on track.
No. I think they're just getting very heavy right-footed compared to some of the other people in the race at the moment.
Yeah, I agree.
What are you seeing at Tony's gap at the minute?
Tony's about 16 seconds.
That's what I thought you'd say. Yeah, a bit of a lonely drive maybe, unless he's got some back markers to entertain him. All the action is very much back in the thick of it in the midfield for sure.
Yeah, this is the closest battle on track at the moment. And again, I think Miro is quicker than Demis, but Demis has got new tyres and they are 4 laps newer than Miro's, so that might just be helping him out.
You'd think you'd see that in the traction out at the corners, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So Ant Woodward's still not wanting Matthias to get away from him.
No, I think Matthias has calmed it down now, and he's starting to pull a little bit of a gap. And I think, unfortunately, if Ant wants past, he's going to have to out Matthias.
Yeah.
And just send one from a distance.
Yeah. And Marcus Bletz isn't that far down the road now. I think we're certainly going to get some interesting interviews at the end of this.
Yeah, well, the top 3 are fairly stable. I was watching Michael Marchietta in 4th just to see if he could close in on Johan Fori, but that isn't happening at the moment.
Yeah, who's this new boy? Oh, no, sorry, that's Tony Clouston.
Shane Powell still sitting in 11th.
Yeah, he has slid down a little, but he's not plummeted, so he's done really well round here. Miro's now pulled right onto the back of Demis's car. So Demis's brand new tyres not doing him the biggest of favours, are they?
No, I think they're just giving him that little bit extra coming out of the corners. And that's just enough to stay in front.
And just behind?
Is that Tony?
It is. So he's not going to want to wait, even with a nearly 17-second lead.
No, and what you don't want is two guys fighting in front of you.
Yeah. I think what Tony just said was, I'm not going to get involved.
Yeah, well, he doesn't need to.
No, he's got an acre of space behind him.
There's 2 laps to go. So, you know.
Let's see how many either desperate lunges or desperate driving we see in the last couple of laps. We've seen it in a few other races.
Yeah, it's either going to come from Miro or it's going to come from Ant Woodward, I think.
Yeah, Ant's not got the grippiest
Miro's
of cars right now.
soaring on that wheel.
Sorry, we're on board with Miro. My apologies.
So Tony Kloosterman comes round very shortly.
Oh, Ant Woodward. Getting
Taking that
fighty now.
tighter line, isn't he? And making time.
Yeah, he loses a little bit on the launch from the corner, as you'd probably expect. But he's absolutely on it here. If he can keep his grip levels going round this corner, and it's difficult to do that. It's uphill. You want to get on it because the next bit's super fast. He's done well there, to be fair. He's going to show his nose at some point. There we go. I'm here. Don't know what he can do. Like you're saying, he's going to have to absolutely send it, I think. As was done to him by Matthias.
Yeah,
They're catching Marcus.
They are, aren't they? But
They are.
I'm not sure they're catching him quick enough. This is now side by side. Demis should have the inside again, so he should be okay.
Yeah, but if
now he needs to defend.
Sorry, if Miro. Oh, I thought Miro would keep it in there.
Demis has gone wide. Miro's gone
got
slide.
Oh dear. Tony's wondering what's going on.
Yeah, so Tony is on the last lap. And,
Right.
Luckily, Tony's going to stay behind these two, so they get to go at it for another lap.
Yeah, I think he said that he was going to let them race and just sit behind them.
Miro's throwing it into corners, and the back end is just stepping out all over the place.
Yeah, and then you see Mr. Kloosterman slowly cruising around behind, but keeping pace with them.
He's lost 4 seconds so far.
Here we go again, Ant Woodward. He's going to have to get a lot nearer and get a much better drive onto this straight if he wants that position. Matthias is getting a bit of a better launch out of that turn.
Yeah, well, this is his last chance, really, through this twisty section.
Yep, that'll help.
Tony Kloosterman's about to cross the line.
Ooh, that looked a bit dirty.
That was, yeah.
That looked proper dirty from Matthias Dahl there.
I think that's the worst move we've seen since we broadcast this series, guys.
I agree with you, Sam. That was not needed.
I want to see that again. That looked like you're not coming past me because I'm going to drive into you.
Yeah. We've all experienced it, and it's just not welcome, I don't think.
So, as the guys are finishing, Tony Kloosterman with a commanding victory. Wayne Sanderson comes home second. Johan Forey in third. Michael Marchietta in fourth. Marcus Bletz fifth. Matthias Dahl sixth. Kevin Honorato seventh. And Woodward is eighth. Stephen Walker ninth. And Marco Lewert 10.
He's clearly not that upset then.
Well, I still want to see that again.
I do as well.
Right,
Here we go. Yep. And throws it into this corner. He's got quite a distance here, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think Matthias made a mistake.
Yeah, it was into the hairpin. He locked pretty much all four wheels by the look of it. Definitely the fronts. And closed him in here. So here we go. You can see him, definitely see him. Even if he was on one monitor.
You can't tell from that angle, can you?
I suppose we could see if we were on board with Matthias.
Yeah.
And I think it's worth. It's like a two Ronnie sketch, isn't it? Like a two Ronnie sketch. Let's get on board with Matthias if we can. Here we go.
Right, let's see if he
comes around
right.
here. Not really.
Nah. I think
Just
it
got
looked
wheel
worse
spin.
than it was, yeah.
Bit of wheel spin.
But then what happened to Ant?
What? Where he was facing the wrong way?
Well, I've got Kevin Honorato finishing in front of Ant Woodward.
Oh. So have a watch. Kevin's not far behind. And tucks it into the last corner and runs wide. Oh. Where's the finish line? Is it the far one?
It's the far one, yeah.
Oh, that's just not happy, is it?
Yeah. So that's what happened
himself.
there.
Yeah, picked his own pocket there, I think, Ant.
Oh, well, there's certainly some action in that one, Pete.
Yeah, I'm knackered.
If it wasn't warm enough already, it certainly is now.
Yeah.
So we had, we had a bit of everything in that race, and I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We are gonna go straight to interviews first, and then we'll have a race recap at the end. So I'm going to bring Tony Kloosterman in for you first.
Okay. Good evening, Tony Kloosterman. Welcome to the booth. How are you doing?
Very well, Pete. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. I saw you cruising around at the back. At the back of the battle that you followed right to the end for quite a few laps. You had a massive lead, didn't you?
And those guys looked like they were battling pretty hard, so I thought I wouldn't bother them, and the lead was big enough, so yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Okayama, a track you like or not? Because sometimes I know Tony Kloosterman, and sometimes the tracks that you're good at are not necessarily your favourites.
You know, this track is traditionally very, very slippery, and you need a lot of throttle control. I really, really need to thank my teammates this week. Jamie McKnight called me an old flog last night. And he beat me by one position in the Officials America race. And that got me a little fired up. And then Greg and Chris were talking about my driving style the last couple of days. And it forced me to try something new. And it worked.
Right. Well, that's brilliant teammate feedback then, isn't it? Especially if you can turn it into something that works as well as it has done tonight. At one point, you had a 17-second lead over Wayne Sanderson, which is, well, it's massive, isn't it? You know?
Yeah. I had pace, and during practice this week, I think Wayne was just a touch behind me most of the week. Conditions were really grippy today, which helped. And in the race, I actually set my personal best by over 1/10 of a second. So really pleased with that as well.
Wow. Okay. I did do some practice laps before the race, and I found it grippy. And if I'm saying that, it must have been like Velcro out there. So you're gonna have to do some thanks, because you're gonna have to apologise to your sponsors. There was so much activity. You did get some footage, but it wasn't as much as you'd expect to. So anybody you'd like to have a shout out to at this point?
I hope the footage that you got was entertaining.
That was brilliant. Yeah.
exactly what I was watching was good. So, Never Quit Racing, Sustainability, Race Tech, our sponsor for our main league, and you guys just do a bang up job on the broadcasts. Every week it gets better and better, and thank you very much for that.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, Tony Klusman, our race winner. Another brilliant victory.
Flushed. Right, let's get in Kevin Honorato. Let's not get in Kevin Honorato because he's muted. Let's get
He took his
in.
mute off.
Did he?
Yeah.
Shall I try him
Go
again?
and get him. Yeah, go and get Kevin.
There you go, he's back. Kevin Honorato, welcome to the
I just
booth.
mute myself. Sorry.
Kevin, you had a bit of a, how can we describe it, a fighty race, especially with Matthias Dahl. That was all door banging and elbows out, that battle.
Yeah, and I'm still a little bit salty because in my point of view, I gave him room every time, and every time he came to me, and I'm still a little bit salty to be honest.
Yeah, we did say on the broadcast that some of those moves by Matthias, they're not something that we usually see in our league. We all know official racing is different, but aside from that, you had that little tussle, and then you was behind both Matthias and Ant.
Yeah.
And then Ant made that mistake on the last corner, and it was a drag race to the line, and you just pipped him.
I had a better start than him. I saw him doing the mistake, so I focused on doing the best exit of the corner. I spin a little bit the tires. You see me, I go a little bit to the right. I didn't want it to go to the right at that moment, but I spun the tires a little bit. And yeah, at the end, that was very close, and happy to win that position. And you remember last race when you said I could do a better result?
Yeah.
Well, tonight I think I could have done a better result. Just missed the qualification. I missed the start. I spin my tires too. I lost a lot of position and not the best race I had. So.
Well, it might not have been the best race you had, mate, but it's another top 10.
Yes.
7th place. You've got to be happy with that. It's not an easy track. We had a big field, and sometimes just surviving to the end and coming away with a top 10 is a great result.
Yeah, especially because it was a lot of troubles in front of me in the first lap. I've seen some cars on the grass. I had to go to the grass myself in the turn 1 because I hit a loose car that go bouncing between other cars, and yeah, that was very close. I'm happy to finish in front of Ant Woodward, even if it was a little bit faster than me. I could manage to stay close enough to pass him without mistake, so I'm happy with that because I know he's very quick, at least quicker than me in usual, so I'm happy with that.
Excellent. Well done on your 7th place, Kevin. Anybody you'd like to thank before we let you go?
You for your awesome broadcast and the team, like always. I'm sure they were watching. Thank you, guys.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us in the booth, and we'll catch you next time.
We need to be nicer to him. He said we were awesome.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we'll put his
he
name
might,
in lights somewhere.
Either that, or he's just got awful mixed up. It's not his first language, is it? Really?
Yeah.
But anyway,
we will bring in somebody that we've not spoken to on the broadcast before. Our teammate and your old mucker, Gary Craig.
Hello. Good evening.
Good evening. New nickname for Gary is Pinball Wizard, I think.
It's been one of those nights.
Yeah, we seem to see it in most of the races. I don't know, do you attract attention, or the first one that you was involved in, was you unsighted because the car was in sort of the middle of the track for quite a while before you got there?
Did Nikolai in the hairpin?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I suffered from an upgrade opportunity. I run on a single monitor, and they're notoriously bad for seeing around corners, unfortunately. And I just came around the corner, and there was a car right in front of me. I slowed as much as I could, but no, I still lost my front end in that, unfortunately, and then I was slow from there on in.
Yeah, we did see you struggling, but you still got a little bit fighty in places. Finished. Where did you finish? 13th. So
Well, I have been waiting for a while to come on and talk to you guys till I had a good finish, and I had that in Alton Park. So let's talk about that instead.
Just choose races to talk about.
Yeah,
Well,
Discord went down. Let's talk about the good ones.
unfortunately, we wasn't there for that
Ah.
one. So, all I can say, Gary, is keep plugging away, and your luck has got to change at some point.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the car. I've just been driving it for 4 weeks now, and I was definitely unlucky in the first 2 races. And again, tonight, I got through the first corner carnage because there was a bit of a destruction derby there, and then just got unlucky not being able to see. I think with Nikolai. So yeah, I'm just going to keep plugging away. I'm enjoying the car, and hopefully it's going to get a little bit quicker as the weeks go on.
Yeah, I thought you'd properly threaded the needle on that start because you managed to pick up something like 6 positions.
Yeah.
And if that pesky Nikolai hadn't parked his car,
I still would have lost it, don't worry. I got the car in that sweet spot of damage where you've lost just enough top speed that you don't need to worry about pressing the accelerator too hard.
Well, before we let you go, Gary, I'll say thanks for joining us in the booth. Is there anybody you'd like to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my teammates. That would be Clyde and Pete and and the other guys. I'd like to thank the guys who do the paints for the cars. That's Clyde. I'd like to thank the guys who do the races with me. That's Pete. And I'd like to thank the commentators for tonight. That's Clyde and Pete.
Oh, yeah, that's lots of thanks for us, Clyde.
Well, they sound like awesome guys, whoever
They
them
do.
two are.
Yeah.
And just a shout out to my brother as well. He's been helping out recently. So yeah, keep on going with him.
Excellent. Well, thanks for joining us, Gary, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you.
Always nice to hear from Gary. So
Yep.
let's bring in Ant Woodward for you, Pete.
Cool. And Woodward, welcome to the booth.
Evening.
Right then, tell me about your race. There was lots and lots of drama all around you.
Yeah, where do you want to start?
We'll start at the start. So,
Oh, no, not the start.
yeah, the start, man. You went. You did a little excursion to try and get out of the way, I think, didn't you?
I just got a wicked start, the best I've ever got, and took off like Starship Enterprise. Everything opened up, and then I realised I was way past the brake marker, and especially with cold tyres, and just shot off on the first turn.
Well, that probably did you a favour, to be fair.
Yeah, maybe so.
And then later on in the race, towards the end of the race, you were battling out with Matthias Dahl. I'm not going to say closely because it was closer than close.
Yeah, it was good fun. I enjoyed that. Yeah,
I thought it properly elbowed you at one point, but when you looked at his in car, it was pretty much all wheel spin from him, and he drifted across the track into you after you come out of the hairpin.
Yeah, it happens. I pitted quite late. I came out and there was traffic. I saw Kevin in front, and I thought, okay, I'm about 3 laps with fresher tyres than Kevin, so I think I can pass Kevin. And then I just couldn't pass. I mean, fair dues to him, very defensive driving. Tried to play the game of chess that you play with cars, and just lost out. I'm furious at myself because I just straight on at the last corner and lost to Kevin at the end. And I mean, I saw Kevin coming in the mirror. He had so much overspeed on me. I could have easily just moved over and put the car in front of him, but he had it fair and square. He just passed me at the end. I went off. Simple as that.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to do that, haven't you? When you're done, you're done. But I bet you're still not the biggest Kevin fan right now. He just whipped you.
No, it's all good. No, it's all good.
Yeah.
Just saying, angry with myself for going straight on. but you know, it's just it is what it is. Just bad track position after the pit stop is what ruined me. I think I could have had a top 5. You know,
We were definitely fast enough. Let's hope next time out it's less of a bump fest, and you can get on with racing, and you can actually turn in at turn 1.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I'll take another start like that anytime if I can.
That was a good launch.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, you just need to throw the anchor out the back window.
Yeah.
Where are we at next?
No good asking.
Absolutely no.
Right, okay. We'll find that out in a minute then. In that case, Ant Woodward, 7th place. Was it 7th place or was it 8th? It was 8th, wasn't it?
Yes, please. Yes, it was 8th. Yeah.
Yeah, that was some sort of Freudian slip. So decent result even then, top 10. Must be happy with that. Your best fan was on the chat as well, giving it large. So anybody you'd like to thank?
Oh, the team as usual, and all the hard work that they're doing on setups on the car. Evie, Stacey, say hello to them. Yourselves for doing an awesome job, bringing loads of popularity to the Friday night slot. Mobility, team sponsors, and Race Tech, the main sponsors of the league. It was me that turned Nikolai, so a massive apology to Nikolai. Came down there, he was parked on the apex. I was braking as hard as I could, nearly snapped my pedal, and just tagged him around. So all that chaos was down to me as well. So angry at myself for that too.
Don't let it bother you too much. Good result tonight. Thank you very much, Ant Woodward.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so we may have one more interview. We've got Marcus Bletz in the interview room, who's currently muted. Oh no, he's just took it off. So let's bring him in. Marcus Bletz, welcome to the booth.
Hello, guys.
Hello. So, 5th place. Lot of carnage in that race at the start, but you seem to get away pretty well. And you know, without incident, and managed a fairly clean race.
Yeah, that I think was the key today. The race could have been over in the very first corner when the Woodward rocket came through, but I managed to get away. So it was actually a quite clean race. I had some fights with Matthias, I think. But yeah, overall a good result, and I took the opportunity to make an interview with you guys and to thank you for the good broadcast.
We always appreciate drivers coming in and talking about their race. You know, with 5th place, are you happy with that? Do you think you could have done a bit better, or was that you know, higher up than you thought you was going to finish?
Actually, it was higher up than I thought that I would finish up. It's the first season for me. Marco Levitt brought me into the series, and yeah, we are training together. And overall, I'm really happy with the result. Top 5 is the best I could hope for.
Excellent. Well, let's hope you get many, many more of them. We're getting close to the end, so we're going to have to let you go. But is there anybody you'd like to shout out to before we go?
Well, again, thank you to you guys. You're doing a really good job to broadcast this, and yeah, thanks to Marco, with my training partner, and yeah, that's it.
Well, thank you very much for joining us. Congratulations on your 5th place, and we hope to see you again next week.
Okay, see you guys.
Thank you, Marcus.
I can't believe you flushed me instead of Ant.
Did I flush you?
Yeah.
Excellent.
I thought, why has everything gone so quiet?
I wondered what had happened. I thought you'd just done a normal Bingham and pressed the wrong button.
Oh, I can't believe you turned that around onto a Bingham. That's just not right, that, like.
Everything's a Bingham. Right, Pete, we need to sum up this race somehow. For me, commanding from Kloosterman. No other way you can, you know, nobody had anything for him round here tonight. Chaos at the start. hip and shoulders in the middle, and a drag race at the end. I think that's my summary.
Yeah, 24 cars on the grid, 24.1 if Nico Weber had joined the race. That's a very healthy grid now, isn't it? Getting close to splitting. It's showing that we're attracting other people to this, and it's giving us very, very exciting races. Yeah, I've got to apologise to Wayne Sanderson and Johan Fury because I don't think they got hardly any coverage because all the action was right behind them on the track, and Tony Clouston was way off in front of them. So they were there. They were our second and third place drivers, but it just shows you how exciting the midfield is in this particular league at this moment.
Yeah, that's right. I think take. Just looking at today's results, Tony and Wayne aside, I know we'd never seen Johan before, but, any of them drivers in the next 10 places can finish on the podium. It's very, very close and very, very, very good to see. Sam, any last thoughts from you?
Great race. Really enjoyed this one again. As always, it's really a pleasure to broadcast this Friday night slot. A bit of carnage at the start, but that's Okayama. We know from V8 that this first turn is always some kind of carnage. Don't know if you remember. I think it was season 5. Not gonna talk about that. Yeah. Great race in the midfield once again. That was a very good night. Thanks to the drivers for the evening.
Yes, and it's the drivers that obviously make the series. So we're going to close. We are back tomorrow with rounds 3 and 4 of the Racetech V8 ESC Cup from Twin Ring Motegi at night. So that's going to be very interesting. Wednesday, we are back in action with the BSTV GT4 TCR series from the Barcelona circuit. And next week, same time, same place on Friday, we're back with the European Strength of Field race in the V8 from the wonderful Phillip Island. I'm really, really looking forward to that. I'd like to thank the drivers for driving, the viewers for viewing, and for Pete for not getting any names wrong tonight, I think, Pete.
I don't think I attempted that many, so I'd like to thank you for flushing me instead of Ant Woodward. That was always good.
I was paid to do that.
Oh dear, I want to share then. And yeah, the drivers definitely make it. The new drivers are making it more interesting. The driving standard is very high. I know we've got a lot of crashes, but that's part of this, isn't it? It's part of official racing, really, or it's my experience of it lately. Really brilliant race tonight. Very exciting. It's only going to get better with more drivers. Fantastic.
Excellent. So, thanks for watching and good night, everybody.